Hey, so last week I did a live webinar and I got 150 people to RSVP and I made six sales live for my high ticket coaching program. And I only had about 50 people attend. So that's above 10% conversion rate for someone that came to a webinar, which is a really awesome, solid number. And this was the first time that I gave this presentation. So what I want to do in this video is I want to share with you the presentation that I gave. And I'm not going to share necessarily the content inside of it. I'm going to share with you the structure that I used so that you can replicate the same type of webinar and get more clients from it. Okay, so before we get into today's video, if you could smash the subscribe button, that allows me to share with you more content just like this. So if you want to grow and scale an online coaching business, drop a subscribe or just click that button and I'll send you daily content just like this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so before I dive into the actual slides and show you the presentation, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping because a lot of people want to do webinars, all right? Webinars, I want to do free trainings. I want to have people come to me and then I can either pitch at the end or I can just provide value. And I want to share some good context here. The key here is you want to do this when you actually have a big enough audience that's going to get enough registrations for the actual webinar itself. Okay, you need at least 100 registrations, at least 100 to really make a webinar work. And I've seen too many people be like, oh, I'm gonna do a webinar and I'm gonna get as many people as I can to come to my webinar, and they start posting on social and they'll only get like 20 to 40 registrations. And if we look statistically less than 50% of the people will actually attend the webinar. Okay, less than 50% will attend. Okay, my attendance rate, I had 150 register and I had about 55 people attend. So that's, what is that, 30 to 40%, somewhere in that range. And again, my goal was to get 50%, but I still got 30, 40. I'm very happy with those numbers. So before I share the details of the actual slides, you have to make a decision. Am I in a place right now where I have a big enough following or a big enough email list, or I could have someone else email on my behalf to get at least 100 people to RSVP for your event? If you cannot do that, do not run a webinar. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this again. If you cannot get at least 100 people to register for a webinar, do not do it. Okay, because the actual turn up rate or the show up rate, again, is gonna be less than 50%. So let's just say you got 50 people to register for your event. Maybe you'll get 20 people to attend. Sure, that sounds great. But the average conversion rate is only gonna be 10%. And typically when you're starting, it's gonna be closer to 5%. So if you get 20 people live on your webinar, you might only get 1 or 2 clients. That might be a lot for you, but I'm just gonna be honest, there's more effective ways to get clients. Okay, if you haven't seen some of my content already, I talk a lot about direct outreach. I talk a lot about running an evergreen free training that you can just give to people. I'm gonna encourage you to do that first before doing a live webinar until you can have enough people to where the numbers really make sense. Because in all honesty, I worked my butt off to create this free training this live webinar, to promote it, to get people to show up. It required a lot of work. And if I only got 1 or 2 clients from this, it would have not been a good use of time. Okay, so I want to clear that before. So again, rule of thumb, if you can't get 100 people to attend, don't do it yet, okay? You can still do the same type of stuff that I talk in my content, but don't do the strategy yet. Now, if you do have an email list or a following that you can get at least 100 people to RSVP and attend, let's go into how to structure that, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my slides on the computer and we'll dive in. Okay, so we're here. This is the first slide that I presented on. The content I presented in my webinar was how to get 5 to 10 clients a month without sending cold DMs. And a really simple way for you to know what type of content to create or what type of webinar or free training to do it on is, what is the number one objection that people give you? What do they not want to do? So I know in my demographic, people don't want to send cold DMs. Okay, they don't want to do that. Right? So what I did is like, okay, if that's not what they want, how can I help them get clients in a different way? And that was what I covered in this free training. Okay. So the title is very simple: how to get what the client wants to get, how to get 5 to 10 clients a month. That's the end goal without what they don't want to do, right? It doesn't have to be complex, right? But it needs to be something that everyone else is doing. All the other business coaches are teaching cold DMs. Heck, I teach cold DMs, okay? Right? But I'm also teach other strategies. So that's what I covered on in this webinar here, okay? So that's what I did here. And we're going to break it down, the structure of the webinar. So I'm going to breeze through some of the content of why I shared what I did. This might be a long training, so stick around, but this is going to be really, really good for you if you do have a big enough audience to make this work. Okay. So I then teased a bonus at the end. It was like, hey, bonus at the end. And what I did here is at the end, I did pitch an opportunity. So I will share that. You won't know what the price is, but you'll know the details of the opportunity that I shared. Okay. So I then kicked it off with, there's a good chance you feel this way. You feel exhausted. You feel frustrated, or worse, you're getting on calls with people who are not qualified and can't afford your services, right? So my opener is, this is for you if you're experiencing these things, which most of my audience and people who came were. And this is what you do want, right? You want to help more people so you can make $20,000 a month while working 100% remote. You want time, financial, and geographical freedom to live life on your own terms. And to do that, you need a predictable way to get new clients month over month. And that's why you're here, right? That's why you're here. So I started this off with, here's how to do this thing. And then I talked about the emotions where someone's at and the emotions and the things that they want. And if that's what you want, then you're in the right spot, right? So that's the first thing you want to lead off in a webinar or any type of free training is, hey, if this is anything you're feeling and want, you're in the right spot. So you're in the right spot. Okay, so that's part one. Part one is talking about where they're at and where they want to be. Okay, that's part one of the webinar. Part two of the webinar or the free training that you're going to do is we're going to paint a picture of the problem. Okay, so this is what the problem that everyone is currently experiencing, or this is the big thing that I need them to shift and change, and I need to make them see that there's a problem, because if I can't get them to see there's a problem, I can't give them a solution, right? Because they're like, oh, that's just another thing to do. But if I can show them, like I did here, this was around cold DMs, if I can show them there's a better way and that this method is actually not going to be effective, they're going to be more keen at listening what I have to say. Okay? So I hit on the emotions first, and then I dove into why cold DMs are not going to be successful and work. Okay? I even pulled up statistics. I was like, the average reach for a social media post is just 9.34% of your followers. Okay? And then I continued this and made it and dug a little deeper. It's like, the average rate of engagement for someone that sees your post is only 4.2%. So if you're relying just on posting content to grow your business, you're in trouble. And I knew a lot of people in this webinar were, right? And I used some more statistics to back that up. And then I gave the old solution, all right? So we know that if I just post and pray that that's not gonna be the best strategy. So the old solution was to do cold DMs. Well, let's continue to paint the picture for that person that this is not gonna be the best strategy, right? We know more people are doing it. Here's the problems, right? The response rate is this. The average booking rate is this. It's just not predictable, right? And to make matters worse, Facebook is getting stricter on policies. They don't want you to spam their users. It's just gonna get harder, right? Which means you need a new strategy, right? You need a new strategy that brings people to you, where instead of you going out to other people, So then we kind of talk about, you need a new strategy, introducing, boom, your new strategy. Okay, the strategy you help people with. Okay, so to rewind, the first thing we did, hey, if you're experiencing this and you want this, you're in the right spot. Number two, we painted a problem. All right, so we said there's a problem in the marketplace. Everyone's doing this thing and this is not going to work. You need a better strategy, right? And then we introduced the topic, right? That's still part of part two. All right. Next up, once we've done those two things, the next thing that I did was I introduced myself and the goals for the workshop. That's part three. Okay. So my goals for this workshop is to teach you how to do a free training that turns strangers into high-paying clients, show you how to leverage other people's audiences, show you how to automate it, right? All the stuff that people want. Then I introduced myself, was pretty quick. Hey, this is what I do. And then I created an origin story. Okay, an origin story. This is really valuable. So this is like how my story connects with the ideal customer that's going through this journey right now. Said, hey, I'm Dr. Matt. I scale businesses. I've been able to scale both low and high ticket businesses to a 7-figure run rate or valuation. That's what I do. I scale businesses to 7 figures, right? And then it's like, but I wasn't always that way, right? And then I talked about my journey and how it relates to what they're going through. I had very little growth. I was sad. I even had these thoughts of, should I just go get a real job, right? But I share this because I know what my ideal customer is experiencing too. They're also thinking, should I just go get a real job? There has to be a simpler way to get more clients, is something I thought. What are the thoughts that your ideal client has that you had in the past that you have now overcome that you can share with them? The reason for this whole entire section here, right? And then I talk about how I discovered a new opportunity. I tried a funnel where we did a PDF, no one booked a call. Then I asked myself, blah, blah, blah. And then I, essentially introducing what I found that works, right? I'm not going to go into all that detail because if you came to the free training, could have saw it, but I'm not going to. But the key here is we're sharing our story, not so that the audience can understand us, but so that we can show the audience that we understand them. Let me repeat that. We are telling our story not because we're trying to get the audience to understand us. We're trying to show the audience that we understand them because we've been in their shoes before. Does that make sense? We've been in their shoes. We've walked in their footsteps. We've had the same problem or emotions relate to the problem that they currently have. And if we can connect with them there, they're going to be more susceptible and open. Susceptible sounds like a disease, not good. But they're going to be more open to hearing the content that we have. Okay? So that's step 3, right? Step 1, if this is you, you're in the right spot. Step 2, big problem. We need a new opportunity, a new solution for it. We introduce it. Step 3, we present our origin story. Hey, I've been there too. This is my journey, and this thing helped me get out of that. So that your ideal customer can attach to that. Like, ooh, if it worked for him, it might work for me. I'm gonna listen. Now we're getting to step 4. This is the fun stuff. So this is where we get to introduce what happened when we tried this, right? So introduce the free training, right? When I did this, it crushed. My business went from 7,000 to 86,000, right? 86.7 thousand in 8 months, right? Here's some stats that happened for me, and that's just from, this time period. Here's some results that other clients have had as well. And, there's probably a lot, but I didn't show them all. And now I'm going to show that to you in the next 45 minutes. Okay. So that section after the origin story, section 4, I believe, maybe 5, I might have lost track here, but that section in particular is going to showcase your results. And that helps create credibility, and people can see it and be like, ooh, got it. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Right? Now I trust you. So I trust that you went through it. It worked for you, and it also worked for your clients. Credibility. Right? Cool. Okay. So the next section is this is the easy part, right? That first part where we have those first few steps of connecting with our ideal client, that's got to happen before we just get straight into teaching. And I think a lot of people, especially like health coaches or just coaches, we like to teach. We like to share, hey, this is how to do this thing. Watch this video. I'm going to teach you, teach. And teaching doesn't necessarily relate to selling. Okay, they're very different. So we have to connect with the person first before we can present the solution and help them. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go over each of these 4 steps because if you came to the free training, you could get it. I'm just going to cover each of these in detail. So once you've completed the getting to know me section, connecting section, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a 3 to 5 step presentation of how to get that person the results that they're looking for. Okay. So for me, I'm teaching people not how to do cold DMs in this presentation and helping them use a free training funnel instead. So here are the 4 steps that they'd have to go through. Step 1, they have to make a high value video training. Step 2, they have to create the funnel pages, right? So like opt-in page, thank you page, all that stuff. Step 3, they have to learn how to automate it to start conversations. So on their behalf without having to do it all manually. And then step 4 is they use other people's audiences. Okay. So those are the 4 steps that I'm gonna cover. And this says in 45 minutes, it probably actually did take me 45 minutes, to be honest. And during a live presentation, that's okay. If it's a pre-recorded one, you need to make it short. But I was able to tell stories. So it's like, all right, step 1, this is what you're gonna do. And I just shared how, kind of the basics of how to do that, right? And then I would present the next section, same thing. Here's how to do it, telling stories along the way. Step 3, same thing. Step 4, same thing, all the way through until I was complete with that, right? And that took some time, but a big key component of that, I'm not gonna go over each of that, is I told a lot of stories. Okay, so I showed a lot of examples of like, here's how I've done this for myself. Here's how other clients have done this. And as I'm going through it, I'm creating it not to like show them, this is a roadmap of here are the 4 things you have to do. But there's no way that if someone went through all this, that they could do all this themselves without needing more help. Okay, it's not like, for instance, if I was a health coach and I was like, hey, here's your 4 steps to losing 10 pounds in the next 90 days or the next 4 months, right? I wouldn't say, step 1, calculate your calories. Hey, here's exactly how to calculate your calories. And the person could walk away and be like, cool, I've got all my calories. Okay, here's how to create your workout plan. And then you teach them exactly how to do it. That's not the purpose and the intent of a webinar, a sales webinar. Okay, this is a sales webinar. So I'm painting the steps they have to take, but I'm not getting really into the weeds of how to do it. What I'm doing is I'm telling stories, I'm helping them see what they need to do, and I'm showing them proof that it's easy and that people have done it like them, have also done it and succeeded. If I can do that, that's going to convert more people than just teaching, because that's not really going to help you grow your business. And it's also not really going to help the person. And this is a mindset shift you have to make, is that selling is serving. Okay. If I know that I can deliver a better result if they're working with me than them trying to copy and do it on their own, then it's in my best interest and their best interest to tell them, hey, I have an offer that I think is very fair and can really help you. Okay. And that's where pitching comes in and selling our services comes in. Okay. All right. So we finished this section. I forgot what number we're on here. I'm sure my editor is going to put numbers up and be like, you're at step 5 or 6, but I've lost track at this point. So we're going to continue. So once I've shown them the big major steps they need to take, and I've shown them it's believable in a 3 to 5 steps, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get them to get excited about the opportunity. So I'm going to ask them questions. It's like, man, wouldn't it be cool if you could just do this and you never had to do this again? Who's getting excited here, right? How much simpler would this make your business? Someone's like, yes, this is so simple. And I would have them engage in the chat. It's like, all right, how many of you guys in here want to start doing this immediately? Sound off in the chat. Cool. How many of you guys are feeling like this, where it's like, this dude's, taking the water hose to the mouth because it's just so much, right? Like a fire hydrant. And he's like, holy cow, it's a lot. And it's like, well, let me ask you a question. And then this is where I said, can I pitch you guys an opportunity that I think would actually really help you tie everything we talked about together into a solution for you to make this easy to implement? And I got a lot of yeses in the chat. So I was like, cool. They gave me permission to pitch versus me just like, all right, guys, so let me talk about my paid offer, blah, 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 right? And then I entered into my pitch. So I'm next going to go over the pitch. There is no details in here. This offer does not exist anymore. If you do want help, go ahead and you can click the link below to schedule a call. We'll tell you what offers we have available. This specific one doesn't exist anymore. If you come to the next training, we will always have more offers like this. And then we'll promote it. Promote these probably about once a quarter. That's the game plan. Okay. So now I transitioned to the pitch of my offer, right? So I was like, hey, this is what I created. This is the 4-step process that we have. The numbers are messed up because I audited it and changed it a little bit. It's like, hey, here's my 4-step process for how I help people. I help them audit and optimize their existing offer and sales process. I help them install a proven organic marketing strategy. We create a free training funnel, which we talked about in the training today. And then we learn how to leverage other people's audiences to get more clients. Pretty cool, right? Here's some features. Again, numbers are messed up because I made a duplicate. It's a 6-month mentorship program. There's you get a one-on-one support coach. There's now 4 coaching calls a week, and we'll build this free training with you so you can get more clients. Who this works for talks about all of my ideal clients that I've helped. And then I share some just before and after stories of some of my clients like Joe, Ben, Emily, I would recommend having at least 3, just like that, very simple. And then I start hitting on the objections. Like, why would someone not want this? Okay, well, what if I don't have clients? Don't worry. What if I don't know what coaching to do? Don't worry, right? The first thing we do is optimize every single person's offer and messaging. After that, if you have less than 5 clients, we'll set you up with our Fast 5 beta launch strategy to get your first 5 clients. So here's what you're gonna get. This is an offer, a pitch deck. I'm gonna keep adding to this as I continue on. So I just introduced the main thing, the big thing. This is my core program. And because you came here today, I'm gonna give you a shit ton of bonuses. Okay, excuse my French, right? So then we continue on. All right, next thing you're gonna get is the remote coaching app. This is gonna help you do X, Y, and Z. This is the tool, right? So now you'll be able to do all these things. And typically this is how much this is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you all of this, time and money, right? And you might be asking yourself, do I have to be techie? Again, overcoming objections. No. We have tech support available. We'll have a one-on-one onboarding call, right? We'll help you hop in and fix it for you if something comes up. So now you're gonna get the mastermind offer. You're gonna get the tech that's gonna help you set this up. And I'm gonna keep going. The next thing, I'm gonna breeze through these next ones a little quicker because I'm not pitching you. I mean, if you guys want support, again, you can schedule a link below, but I just wanna break it down, okay? So the next thing I was offering as a bonus was a social media audit and action plan. What you're gonna get. You're gonna get all these things. These are things that my ideal client wants, right? So that comes out to this. Total value keeps getting higher. Next, you're gonna get the DM playbook. We kind of trashed DMs earlier in the thing, but if you're starting out, this is still a very effective strategy. And I'm not going to not teach you how to do this. So I will teach you how to do this. We'll audit your conversations. We'll do all these things. You're gonna get this. That's included. Last but not least, we're gonna help you set up your ad account, okay? So we're gonna do this. This is how much it would typically cost. We're gonna set it up. It's gonna be so simple. Here's all the things you're gonna get. So at this moment, they're gonna see this slide. They're gonna see the total value, and it's gonna be like 3 to 10 times the amount of the actual price I'm gonna drop. So someone's thinking in their head, they're like, holy cow, that's a lot. How much is, what's it gonna be? What's the price gonna be? Like they get kind of excited, right? And then I asked them a question. I was like, okay, so the goal for this is like, what's this worth to you? Like, what's it worth to you to have a business that's doing $20,000 a month plus? If you're doing a fitness offer, what's it worth to you to lose 20 pounds? Or what's it worth to you to be able to play with your grandkids and blank? Would you pay X, which is whatever that total value is, one time if you were guaranteed to make this amount, or if you were guaranteed to never have to worry about this again? Look, and then I have a business coaching offer, so I kind of went into percentages, and I changed it again because you can't see it all. And then these slides would reveal like one at a time. So you can see that's why it's a good deal at that amount, right? I'm sharing why it'd be good to have the first, like this total amount over here. You can see this is a good deal, right? If this is the goal you want and you're gonna pay this, it's a pretty good deal at this. And then I go, boom, I hit space, and it's like, and typically to the public, this would be worth blank, okay? But because you're special, so then I hit up space bar again, but because you're special, I'm gonna offer you guys this for just today. And this was like, I cut this price in half. So if this one, like you'll just put, if that number said, you get this for 10,000, like this right here could save 5,000. And I'm like, holy cow, that sounds great, right? And then I had a link here to schedule a call. Offer expires Friday. And then I reviewed again everything they get. So it's like, again, you're gonna get 6 months of this for free. All you have to do is apply for this. Here's all the things you're gonna get. Just get this for this. Now, you have 2 options. You can do this on your own, or you can let us help you, right? Option 2 is an investment, but look, like you can either pay with time or money. Hitting on the objection again of money, it's expensive, right? We're like, well, you can pay with time or money, up to you, right? Money will always come and go, but time is gone forever once it's used. So if you want something, if you want to do this, let's do it. Here's how to do it, and typically we help our coaches do this. This means you only need to get 1 to 5 clients to make your investment back. Do you think if you did everything we told you to do, would you get 1 to 5 clients in 6 months? I hope so. Our goal is to help you get 5 to 10 new clients a month. If you believe in yourself and you want to get started, let's do it. Here are the 2 payment options. Again, click here to schedule a call. Book here, book a call to apply here. Okay. So yeah, I did this on last Tuesday and we got 6 new clients from it. Again, the stats I'll share again. We had 150 people register. We had about 50 people attend, and we had 6 signups. And this was for a high ticket offer. This was above $5,000 in value. So really stoked at how it went. And this was my first real time that I pitched the price on the webinar. In the past, I would just do, hey, book your call here and learn more about the offer. But this time I shared the price and it did really, really well. So my plan is to do this every quarter. But I also, again, I'm going to refer back to what I said earlier. I have an email list now and a following that's big enough to where I can do this and I can get 150 plus people to RSVP. So this actually does save time and energy on the sales and marketing front, because if I can get 6 clients, and let's just say, like I said, my offer for this one was above 5,000. If I can have just 5,000, 6 people at 5,000, that's $30,000 in new revenue. I'm happy to do that like once a quarter, right? Once a quarter, that's good. Once a month, that would be really tough, like a lot of energy, because I have a team. So like, it's not like, oh, Matt, you make 30 grand off the webinar. Like, no, all things set aside after taxes and not after taxes, but after paying employees, like my profit margin is closer to 50%. So that would be, $15,000 if it was a $30,000 offer over the period that we collect that revenue in. So now I'm getting kind of in the weeds, but I'm really the purpose of this was just to show you how to structure a webinar and to help you know, should I do a webinar or not? Because I think most people lean into the webinar and want to do it sooner, like because they think it's a good idea. And I don't think it's for everybody. I do think it's good once you can successfully register 100 people, because you'll get at least 5. You should get at least 5 sales from that. You should, right? So that's all I got for today. This is a long video, guys. Thank you again for watching this. If you guys have any questions or want any support growing your coaching business, I'll have a link to schedule a call below. You can just schedule in with my team. We'll share what offers we have available and we'll go from there. Cool. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.